What's going on, guys? My name is Assam from dopelifecoaching.com, and today I'm going to be teaching you what keeps a relationship going. Stay tuned. Before you watch the rest of the video, make sure you smash that like button and you also subscribe below. Make sure you also turn on your push notifications so that you have access to the most recent content that I give out. So what makes a relationship work in general is things in common. What makes a relationship passionate from a sexual, energetic perspective is things being different. There's two different energies, masculine energy and feminine energy. Now, why is this? This is because opposite energies attract, not opposite traits. I'm gonna say it again. Opposite energies attract, but not opposite traits. All right, so let's take things back to the basics, right? The fundamentals, the core fundamentals. And what I know and in my experience, it all comes down to two words. Sexual polarity, right? Sexual polarity. Now, what exactly is sexual polarity? Well, first off, we have to know what polarity means. Polarity is the state of opposites being there. There are opposites, polar opposites, like positive and negative, masculine and feminine. In this case, it's masculine and feminine. In order to have attraction, you have to have that sexual polarity there. Otherwise, it's not going to exist. That electricity is just not going to be there. And so to get that going, you need to understand the core principles and what each energy primarily is driven by and comprised of in general. So masculine energy, right, is more concerned with mission, drive, purpose, success, breaking through barriers, and just focusing on one thing at once and just being laser focused and being logical and being achievement oriented and just giving. Whereas feminine energy is more about opening up to receive love, receiving, expressing, and instead of achievement, it's all about experiencing and being in tune with her senses and nurturing. That's what feminine energy is about. Now, both energies are present in every single human being. I have both energies, you have both energies, we all have both energies. However, the dominant energy for most men, I want to say 95% of men, is masculine, and the dominant energy in around 95% of women is feminine. Now here's where it gets tricky. Because attraction is based upon those two opposites, right? Those polar opposites attracting and being attracted to one another. The drop in attraction, therefore, is due to a loss of attraction. The loss of attraction is due to those two polar opposites not being there at the moment, right? This is where in a masculine-feminine relationship, both people in the relationship are either acting masculine or both people in the relationship are acting feminine. What this does is it destroys attraction completely. There's no electricity. There's no electricity because there's no polar attraction from a polar level, from a masculine and feminine level. How does this typically happen? A really, really, really big factor, number one in my opinion, is stress. When there is stress in a relationship, that allows each energy to adapt to the mask of their opposite energy. For example, a man when stressed can start acting like a woman, not necessarily a woman, sorry, but a more feminine energy is going to come out of him. He's going to start acting more like a girl. And at the same time, a feminine woman under stress is going to adopt the masculine mask, and that's going to cause no attraction whatsoever between the man and the woman because attraction is not there, and because they're polar opposites and they're attracted to each other in that natural way, that masculine feminine way, the attraction is just not going to be there, right? And that's just going to make each party feel wounded. Another thing that causes this lack of attraction between a man and a woman is the man acting like a woman, like a feminine energy rather, instead of a woman. He's acting more feminine. He's overly pursuing her. He's overly texting her all the time. He's calling her all the time. He's acting like a girl. He's trying to, connect everybody together. That's what women do. That's what feminine energy is more about. And when a woman starts to try to act like a man, to try to act like the leader and the provider who's trying to lead everything and control everything, I'm not saying men should be controlling, but masculine energy is more so about leading and being in direction and being stable. Then attraction, of course, is going to drop with a masculine man if a woman starts to act that way, because there's no more sexual polarity. And because there's no more sexual polarity, there's not that spark, that electric spark is not there anymore. Then what's the point? There's no more attraction. Attraction is not generated anymore because on a basic fundamental level, it doesn't exist. So now that we talked about what stress does in terms of bringing to the surface the opposite energy in a masculine feminine relationship, let's talk about intimacy killers for each energy, right? Intimacy killers for men and intimacy killers for women. So what are some intimacy killers for men? These are the most important ones. Jot these down. Being controlled, being shut out, and being unappreciated. For me, being unappreciated, that's a fucking big one. That's the really big one for me. It's just gonna turn me off completely, right? Now for women, the big intimacy triggers that are gonna kill attraction for her, or sorry, for a feminine energy rather, are being misunderstood, being unseen, and being unsafe. With a feminine energy, if the feminine energy feels those things, it destroys attraction too. So you need to understand that and how it works in order to not let it happen because you want attraction to happen, right? The polarity is just not gonna be there. It's gonna kill it. It's gonna kill intimacy. All the attraction, all the intimacy, they're not gonna be there. So now that you understand how attraction works, you can therefore adjust and solve the issues in your relationship that are caused by a drop in attraction, which is all due to these energies not properly being aligned with one another, and better yet, with the entire relationship. Why? No attraction, no polar opposites, no electricity, no passion, no attraction, everything goes down, and then it ultimately can lead to a breakup. Right? It's common sense when you think about it. When you simplify it to the most simplest form and you just, everything is, simpled down, everything is just easy, it's much more easier to comprehend and to solve in general. With that being said, what does feminine energy need? Well, feminine energy needs attention, connection, trust, and praise. Feminine energy thrives on those four things, right? Attention, trust, connection, praise. If you're able to give that energy, if you're able to give that to the feminine energy in an authentic way by being masculine in turn, I promise you, you're gold. Give that feminine energy what it really wants and pay attention to what it doesn't want, you're gold. Now, on the other hand, what does masculine energy need? Masculine energy needs to be admired, it needs to be needed, and it needs to be respected and appreciated. Those are what every masculine energy needs. For me specifically, right, for example, I need to be needed and I need to be appreciated. That's what my masculine energy wants. There's slight differences between, people within the same energy, but for the most part, that's what it covers, right? About 95 to 99% of the cases. And because you now know this, don't adopt the opposite energy if that's not what you are, or at least try not to most of the time. Just because you're hurt or wounded, stick to your masculine energy. You can be feminine if that's what you are experiencing at the time. That's okay. Every masculine man has feminine traits, feminine energies, rather. And every feminine woman has masculine energy inside of her. So you embrace it. You don't let it go. But at the end of the day, you don't try to assume the role of the opposite energy that you are, because that just doesn't create attraction from the first place. If both parties are masculine, both parties are feminine, how the hell do you expect attraction to happen? There's no spark, right? There's no plus and minus. And unfortunately, because this is by far and large really misunderstood by most people, the solutions to this aren't exactly as simple in their eyes as they really are. They're really much more simple than we think they are. Once you understand it from the basic principles of sexual polarity, of masculine and feminine energies, everything's gonna be much easier for you, I promise you. So an easy solution to this, once you really grasp it and understand it, is to stay within your energy as much as you can. Now, just because your dominant energy is masculine doesn't mean you have to be masculine 95% of the time. There's times where you feel more feminine. You're a human being. It happens to everyone. We're all masculine and feminine at the same time. But your dominating energy, you focus on that. And you focus on ways, despite stress, to maneuver and go around it in order not to, cause a lack of attraction or a drop of attraction between you and your partner. Just remember that for the sake of your own simplicity, to break it down into those, two different polar opposites in terms of energies, and maneuver around it whatever you find after you learn this, and once you notice how easy it is, you'll notice that you'll be able to maneuver around it in the most natural way possible. So that pretty much covers everything, guys. Like and subscribe below. You know how to keep a relationship going, just understanding it from these basic principles. That's really it. And if you need my help personally, the quickest way is to go to www.dopelifecoaching.com. We still have free consultations for first timers, so make sure you check that out. And I shall see you soon. Take care.